me now perfectly? Let me know, say something. I want to know, can y'all hear me? Because got a lot to talk about on this topic. Like I've been saying. Been saying I'm going to make a video about this for a while. So I want to make sure that everybody can hear what I got to say. Because I have an opinion on it. And I have an opinion on other videos and things like that of that nature. So yeah, hopefully y'all can hear me. Now, I was saying about my allow. I was saying about my allow before. Now, this gets is crazy. This shit baffles me. Like when he gets interviewed, everybody just brings up the bad boys, the Jordan rules, the dream team. About to bring up about I say, oh, they like to bring up the last dance, everything like that. And then this about Isaiah Thomas, my Taurus brother, he answers the question no matter how many times he has asked it. He's been asked this question for 30 years and he's always answered the question correctly. You didn't like whatever on the court and everything like that. Off the court, yeah, we could do all that and everything like that. Bird, Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge did it to the Pistons. Nobody gave back to them. Nobody called. Nobody sat here and called. The Celtics last list and call them losers and like that. They just like, oh, okay, boom, boom, boom. At it. Did they sit there and hug on the court and everything like that? After they went to the back, you did that. You know what I mean? Yeah, Joe, yes. He hugged it like that. But, it was different for him. But now, my thing is, y'all getting everybody's mad at Isaiah because his are regular. Because, I mean, I'm not mad at Zeke at all. I actually met him. He's actually a nice guy. We actually talked. He asked and everything like that. So, you know, everybody calls it like Jordan called him an asshole, but be honest, Jordan is an asshole. And like classic episodes, everything like that. Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Arcade Homes? Everything's good on this live right now and everything like that. Can you hear me just fine? Like, y'all need to go back and watch this show on YouTube. It's called Top 5 Reasons You. Jordan has 2 episodes up there. You have the Top 5 Reasons for the Bulls, and you have the Top 5 Reasons You Can't Blame Michael Jordan want to play baseball. Best coach in Phil Jackson. Yes, because the comes upon the was showing you how to play, how to wasn't gonna be, oh, you chucking it 30, 40 times and everything like that. And go on scoring benches and everything like that. You say you hate Jerry, you don't like Jerry Krause and everything like that. But he got you your best teammate in Scottie Pippen. You always say you don't win shot, right? If Jerry Krause doesn't make the steal of a decade and get you Scottie Pippen, you don't get those championships like that. And then get Horace Grant to repeat. And then you got John Paxson that was a gift to you. So he made the right moves to build around you. He got you Craig Hodges and things like that. And he made sure that you're ready, you prepare. Y'all win the first repeat, right? You retire, RP to James Jordan. Now you come back, right? You come back, and only person that's played with you is Scottie Pippen. They bring in Tony Kukoc, who they drafted. They get another steal in a trade with Dennis Rodman. They get Steve Kerr. Then you still have Phil Jackson. So you know you had all the pieces there. Yes, Jerry Krause deserves credit for what he did. Hey, Brooks, Relone, how are you doing today? So yes, like I said, he definitely deserves credit, and he respect from none of y'all. That's fucked up that he didn't get that. And bullied that Michael Jordan. You see, telling this guy that you're officially more, don't worry about the date and everything like that. Yo, go watch that top 5 reasons of about the Bulls and Jerry Krause, and you'll see, and you'll have like a different perspective on Jerry Krause. Now, back to Isiah Thomas. Like everybody just asks him about the Jordan rules, the Dream Team, Snub, the Bad Boys, and his beef with Jordan. With the Dream Team, everybody know Isiah should have been on the Dream Team. That light should have been sentenced. At the time, oh my bad. At the time, Isiah Thomas has 2 championships. He has 2 championships. He is the Finals MVP. Jordan has 2 championships. I believe 2 or 3 every that time. Scottie Pippen has 2 championships. Magic has 5 championships. Bird has 3. So, yeah, yes, Isiah should have been on it. And it's also hope. You know what I mean? He should definitely have some pull on that. But like I said, Jordan didn't be at the time. So I mean, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want to do? So he easily had pull. So yes, Jordan said he doesn't want him on the team. That doesn't happen. Him and Magic were going through a little rift because at the time, 1991, 1990, well, about the epidemic and everything like that. You only knew that you only knew that it was kind of a gay disease supposedly, and we were totally all wrong about that. So yeah, that's that. Um, yeah. So you know about that. So everybody kind of thought Magic was gay and everything that, which should have been insinuated and everything. So they said it came from Isaiah. So that's why him and Magic had beef. Yes, that's why him and Magic is stand up when it came. Now everybody saying Chuck Daly is coach. Be honest, Chuck Daly should be blamed as well. Because everybody like to say, oh, Isaiah enforced the Jordan rules and everything like that. Who was the coach? Chuck Daly. So, Michael, you should have been more pissed at Chuck Daly for enforcing it. And then everybody like to sit there and say, oh, the Pistons were dirty, played dirty. Those were the rules. You can't get mad at them for using the rules to their advantage. You know what I mean? You can't get mad at them for using the rules to their advantage. If I could sit here and get Larry Bird frustrated by hitting them and everything like that and getting them out of here, I could get 30 points. I could get 30 points removed from the game. Makes it easier. Like shit. In the 70s, it was even worse. Everything like that. You do sitting here fighting and scrapping in the court, it was nothing. And all they got was a heavy fine. They really got suspended and things like that. It changed when Tom Jonathan got punished by Kerr Washington. Then that's when it changed and all that. But like I said, it was within the rules. Even Michael says it in his 2K14 interview. Physically, it was a different game. You couldn't go to the lane without getting checked. If you came inside that lane, you knew you was getting hit. You knew you was going to take a hit, and you shouldn't be afraid to come inside here. Or if you did, you settle for jumpers and everything like that. So, Michael, for you to sit here and say that, and then like, oh yeah, they beat me up. It's like, which one is it, Mike? Like that. Like that was the rules. That was the time. They like I said, the Pistons advantage, but here it said nothing when Micheal took out Kurt Rambis. That's why I said it's bias against Isaiah Thomas. Seriously. And then everybody talking about he's saying LeBron's the goal and everything like that. Y'all need to start. This is why I say y'all need to start going back and checking out the videos and everything like that. You can watch on NBA home court, open court, where Isaiah Thomas is giving Jordan his flowers, saying that he's the greatest and everything like that. And saying giving his flowers. Watch his old smoke interview where he's giving Jordan his flowers. He's saying that, you know, Jordan coming in the league with Brand Jordan was great for the league. It helped out the league, and he globally expanded the league, which he definitely did. Brody, am I still glitching right now? If it is, I'm just moving the phone and everything like that. That's not me glitching. You know what? So you want to see like gave Jordan his flowers plenty of times. Flowers once Jordan kept shitting on him and dissing him. Like after a while, I'm like, all right, how much more can I take? And Isaiah Thomas said, I can't take no more. I'm not gonna take no more. And so yeah, but yes, Michael is the GOAT and everything that in my eyes. Now, I'm not one of these Jordan stains. These guys, Jordan would smack their moms and they would blame their moms and everything like that. I hold you accountable for shit. Like, come on, the dude punched his teammates and shit like that. All right, you say it's in the heat of practice and everything like that, but here calling you sitting here calling a grown man a hoe and shit like that. Yo, like I said, Jordan knew who he could talk shit to and who he couldn't talk shit to because he tried that shit with Robert Parrish, and Robert Parrish shut that shit down. Said, yo, you know, I'm not everybody else. I got rings. I ain't scared of you. If so, you want back down real quickly that we heard about. And then the same thing with Bill Cartwright. Bill Cartwright said, yo, you want, we can take this outside. Everything. So, I'm saying. Um, and then now also, another thing we got to get out of the way. They played two positions, two different styles. Plays like Magic. Magic even said himself, LeBron is the turbo version of him turned up. And then you can see it. They play exactly like they think pass first. They're thinking of getting everybody in the game. They think about getting everybody in the game. And they can affect the game with their passing, scoring, all that. So, like I said, if you compare LeBron, you compare him to Magic. You don't compare him to Michael Jordan. We seen the remix of Michael Jordan. His name was Kobe Bean Bryant. R.I.P. to the Black Mamba. So like, y'all need to stop with this. Oh, he's never gonna catch Jordan, everything like that. He don't need to catch Jordan. He need to catch the guy he's playing like, which is Magic Johnson. He's like I said, he's at 4 rings. Yes. Now, I don't agree with the team how he's done in the past and everything like that. Cause it's like, you know, you sitting saying that you're the code and everything. Goes on hop team out. All right, now, like Wayne Gretzky, it happened with him because he was traded and everything like that. He didn't decide to leave. Now, yes, in your case, LeBron, you did fulfill your contract and everything like that. With Cleveland was your first thing. You fulfilled your contract, so you was glad to leave. And that's the way that you left and where you went to. You were entering your prime and going to Miami. That's why people got mad at you and everything that. And then you went back to Cleveland and everything that. And to me, Cleveland, y'all should not have been surprised the next time he left. It was like, yo, if he did the first time, don't be surprised if he does it the second time. Anything like that. But yes, now is LeBron going down as a top 10 player? Yes, he is. Like when his career top 10. See, I don't put active players on my list at all because you're still playing. But I guess us in that Michael Jordan, but we all know why he was 23 because it's almost half 45, 22 and a half, and his favorite number was 45. But his brother Larry was older, so he had seniority, so he took 45. And so Jordan said, all right, if I can be half as good as Larry, I'll take 23. And there you go. LeBron 3, because of course, everybody wanted to be like Mike. Who didn't want to be like Mike? Shit. But you know, because from what you know was heard, they wanted him to wear the number 9 when he came in the league. What that would have been fire. I mean, you don't have a lot of people wearing 9 and making that number famous, so that would have been dope to see him make that number famous and everything like that. Um, yeah. So just stop comparing LeBron and Jordan. Two different styles. Alright, for the new generation, yes, LeBron's y'all go. No problem. Be honest, my nephew, he's he like I said, he's in that range, but his goat is Steph Curry, Wardell. So not everybody thinks LeBron is the goat of the new generation or things like that. Like Jordan, he was feared. You you hear you hear the peers talk about you hear how Magic Johnson and 92 practice just sits here hit a three, another three, and that does a dunk and everything that was like you wake up a giant and everything that and see how he post rise Alonzo Moore, see how he did the Kimbe, see how he did Patrick. He did Georgetown since dirty if you look at it. Goddamn, now you hear like I said, and all three of them went to Georgetown. He did all of them dirty. And then like us, nobody ate on George watch. But we don't know because yes, Lenny Bias and Reggie Lewis did die. So you don't know what would have happened with that sort of thing. But yeah, he did dominate the decade. Like I said, Charles didn't get a ring on his watch. Patrick didn't get a ring on his watch. Carmelo John Stockton didn't get a ring on his watch. Sean Kemp, Clyde Drexler, Gary Payton at that time didn't get a ring on his watch. Yes. Hakeem got a ring, everything like that. And that's always the big what if. And, I hear Kenny Smith, Robert Ory, Vernon Maxwell saying, oh, we would have won and everything like that because we had Hakeem, everything like that. I say like this. It came down to the other stars. So if they met in '94, like they were supposed to meet, all right, Jordan and Hakeem cancel each other out. Hakeem's gonna go for 40, Jordan's going for 40. So you cancel those now. But Mad Max, you're gonna be in foul trouble because like I said, Jordan's gonna be scoring it too easy and you're gonna get pissed off and you're gonna fight him. So you're gonna get kicked out behind that. Robert Ory and Scottie Pippen, that's definitely gonna be an interesting matchup. And like I said in '94, if Pippen's playing the way he's playing, I got Pippen in that show. Oldest as far as Grant, I'm taking Horace Grant. And then you had Tony Kukoc coming in, like, and then you had Steve Kerr. Come on, like they would have won that in 6. Hakeem, like I said, Hakeem definitely would have willed the Rockets to 2 victories and everything like that. Mario Elliott would have definitely hit a clutch, would have hit some clutch shots. Kenny Smith would have hit a clutch shot. Robert Ory would have hit clutch shots, everything like that. They would have got 2. But like I said, Jordan would have had a chance to 4-peat. You know he was going hard. And you gotta remember, the last finals he had played in before, prior to that, the man averaged over 40 in a game. So you don't think that he stands absolute prime that he was not gonna do that? Stop it. And then 95, he was they definitely probably would have repeated again. But of course, fatigue does sit in after a while. Running at the top. So they probably would have lost one. Because fatigue sits in. Like, and especially you're playing in the June damn near every year, and you gotta play 82. Then that first round was best of five at that time. Then you had two rounds of best. Then you had the rest of the rounds best of seven. So yeah, you didn't go. You didn't go out. You didn't like I said. You didn't go out. You didn't. Your routine was you was in bed early because you had to get your rest because you already knew you was going against Black Jesus. You already knew what time it was. And then, like I said, yes, some of the stories you hear, it's funny as hell. One of the funny stories I like this that I heard from Jordan was when Steve Smith was guarding him. Steve Smith was like, you know, he started counting backwards to about 38, 36. Going backwards, if he get zero, he got 40. Like, that was some disrespectful shit right there that he did. Um, but yeah, back to Isaiah Thomas. Now, me and Matt Barnes had gotten to it on Instagram. Shout out Matt Barnes. I'm still a fan of yours regardless. Love the so yeah, got into it because there's a video up of Brandon Hill saying that the 11 Mavericks have the goal playoff run, and I have an issue with that. Not that Dirk Nowitzki didn't have a playoff run. His run is goaded, but saying it's number one, nah. I give it three. I give it number three. And the reason why I give it number three because I give Isaiah Thomas, Zeke, number one. I give him number one spot. We all say Michael Jordan's the GOAT, right? He beat Michael Jordan, Matt Johnson, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Four of those guys are considered GOATs. And you can say, oh yeah, Larry Bird was beat. I don't want to hear that. You can say all that. He still had Kevin McHale. He still had Robert Parrish. He still had a team. He still was putting up a fight. So they lost. And then after that, they played Sidney Moncrief. And if you know who Sidney Moncrief is, go back and do your homework. That dude was a beast. Actually, Michael knows about Sidney Moncrief, and he smacked him. Like he beat 13 Hall of Famers on that playoff run. Like 13. Like, and then he beat a Hall of Fame coach. You can say, oh yeah, Magic wasn't healthy. Like I said, okay, Magic wasn't healthy. You know, like Magic got injured after game two. You still had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there. You still had Jay there. You still had one of the Rovers there. I don't want to hear that. And even Magic even said, nah. Everybody know that the Pistons should have had three. That was a phantom foul in game seven, in game six. That was a phantom foul. Magic should be sitting on four. And I respect Magic because that's my second favorite player of all time. But Isaiah should have three or should have four. So I don't want to hear that. Like you talk about he beat he beat the Celtics, the Bucks, in the Bulls. That's Hall of Fame. Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge, Ed Micheal, Dennis Johnson. I believe Bill Warner was still there. And Bill Warner still there, boom. That's 13. If not, that's then it would be 12. Then you, like I said, you have Michael Jordan, the GOAT, and Scottie Pippen. Then you have the Showtime Lakers. You have Kareem, Magic, James Worthy, and then Michael Cooper. I forget Cooper's there, and I forgot to mention him before. So you had Michael Cooper. So they had everybody, and Detroit still won. So that's why I'll give it to Isiah that he has the greatest player for him. He beat 13 Hall of Famers. Four that's considered GOATs for his first championship. Then second, I'll give it to Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon in '95. As a six seed, like look who he had to go through to get to the championship, to defend the title. And then after that, you sweep that young and up and coming Magic's team. Gotta put him number two. And me and Matt got into it because I said, Matt Barnes, the only reason that you picked the Mavericks in 2011 because you was on that Lakers team and they swept y'all. So he got Kobe Fat Boy. I don't know. Well, like I said, it's a back and forth, so no problem. More famous. Okay, yes, he had because I believe Jason Kidd was on that team. Was nice. You had Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, you know, Carl Butler, even though he was injured. You have Tyson, DJ Barrera, Peja Stojakovic, Sean Marion. All right, now those guys are at a prime, but they were there to play a role. Everything like that. Hello, I'm mad. Just you forgot he also 86 Celtics team, so he knows how to win. He knows how to play the game right. And yes, Dirk's player for one is fucking great. It's fucking phenomenal. You beat you beat the Trailblazers, I believe. Then you sweep the two-time defending champions. You stop Kobe from repeating. So that means Kobe would have sat there and three-peated with Shaq and without Shaq if they don't lose. And then you beat a you had beaten a future dynasty in the making if they stay together in OC. And then rematch Miami and yeah, you but like come on, everybody LeBron should have took over in that final series. And yes, that is always gonna be LeBron's that's always gonna be a scarlet letter on LeBron that you froze in that big moment. And yes, Skip Bayless loves to bring up, oh, I've never seen a bigger choke job than that on the stage. And it's like, all right, but it's like, kill that record. We already know that LeBron collapsed on the biggest stage at that time. And crazy, the rounds leading up to it, he was fucking killing. You had the epic game six against the Celtics. you smacked the MVP and D Rose. So it was like it was made for you to win that. But be honest, if the Lions had won that series, that was Dwayne Wade. Because Dwayne Wade was killing that year. So yeah. But yeah, I just hate how I just hate how people like discredit Isaiah Thomas. And I'm not gonna let that happen. Like I'm not gonna let Isaiah Thomas be discredited and everything then. But enough with this topic and everything like that. We're gonna talk later. Everything like that. Anybody who watch live, I appreciate it. I'll be doing more videos. Because also I got that Draymond being also man, gotta talk about that, everything like that. So yeah, say be